SuperTalk Mississippi media production. It's time to talk about dogs.
Bulldogs have won it.
Talkin Dawgs, that is, with Robbie Faulk, right here on SuperTalk 100.9.
Talkin Dawgs is on your radio on SuperTalk 100.9, supertalk.fm, the SuperTalk app, the podcast feed, YouTube, everywhere you get this. I appreciate you guys for checking back in with me. Talkin Dawgs with Robbie Faulk brought to you every single week here on SuperTalk on Wednesdays from 9 to 10 a.m., also from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. if you're in the Golden Triangle area. And obviously, you guys know you can hear me at tons of different places, like on the podcast app. You can go online to supertalk.fm. You can listen live right there. You can listen on the app. You can listen on YouTube. I love the fact that SuperTalk covers all its bases. And if you are a person that listens to all these shows, God bless you. Because I know there's a lot of people, my wife in particular, that just does not want to hear me talk any more than she already has to. So for you guys to sit here and listen to me, maybe against your will, I don't know. But I appreciate you anyway. Thanks for tuning in. We got a ton of stuff to talk about here today. We're going to get right to it. I don't want to sit here and ramble at all. We got some Mississippi State football to talk about. Folks, we are 4 weeks in, if you're a Mississippi State fan, to having hope, to continue to have hope in Mississippi State football. That has not been the case the last 2 seasons. And that in itself is a great thing if you're a Mississippi State fan. For the last 2 years, and really since the ReliaQuest Bowl of 2022, which I'll amend that, I think going into the season in 2023, I think there was a lot of excitement around Mississippi State football still. There was a little unknown, but there was some excitement. So I'll say since 2023, maybe after the Arizona game, when Mississippi State barely snuck out that game, which, by the way, turned out to be a really good win, but I think people started to see right there some cracks in Zach Arnett and in that program and where things were going, and the rest of the season was just really kind of dismal for Mississippi State. He gets fired in the middle of the season. You hire Jeff Lebby, who obviously had a really kind of a complete rebuild of Mississippi State's roster. And for the Bulldogs now, this season to turn things around like they have, and let's not get ahead of ourselves. There's a monster schedule ahead for Mississippi State with several top 25, a few top 10 opponents on this schedule. Mississippi State's 3-0, and they got a chance on Saturday when they take on Northern Illinois to be 4-0 for only the 8th time in school history. And that's nothing to sneeze at. That's not something to just throw to the side. I don't care what the schedule looks like to this point. They've beat a team in Southern Miss that I think's going to be really good in the Sun Belt this year. I think that's going to be a team, when you look back on it, that's going to be a much better win than anticipated. Still a group of 6 team, and that's a game you should win, but Mississippi State winning that game, I think in the end, that's going to be a good non-conference win against a team that's lower on the totem pole, so to speak. Arizona State, I think, is going to be it will be a bowl team, and I think going to be a team that contends in Big 12. I think that's going to be a big win. You know, obviously Alcorn State is what it is. If you beat Northern Illinois, I don't think Northern Illinois is going to be a great team this year, but that's a good program. Being 4-0 at this point after going 2-10 last year and losing to Toledo in blowout fashion, Mississippi State is heading in the right direction, and we'll see just how far they're able to take that. But there is no doubt in my mind that the Bulldogs have been a team that is really moving forward, and that is something that is really good to see. We're going to break down what we saw on Saturday against Alcorn State. It happened exactly how Mississippi State needed it to happen. They come away with a 63-0 win over the Braves, and I thought they were just flat dominant in every single category. There was never a time where Mississippi State fans were disappointed in the effort, were disappointed in the execution. They came out and got the job done. Now, Jeff Lebby wants more from his team, and that's exactly what you want to hear from your coach after a 63-0 blowout. He's hungry. He wants more, and we'll see if they're able to bring him more this week. When we come back, from the break, we will break down what we saw at Davis Wade Stadium, a 63-0 win over Alcorn State. Plenty to talk about coming your way here on Talkin Dawgs with Robbie Faulk on Super Talk 100.9.
At Bank Oklahoma, we treat our customers like neighbors, and usually they are. You're more than just an account number. At Bank Oklahoma, you have a name, a family, and hopes and dreams for your financial future. I'm Hunter Robertson at Bank Oklahoma in Bruce. We'd love to earn your business and help you reach your financial goals. Come see me or call 662-983-3700. Bank Oklahoma, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Looking for quality and convenience? Matheson Hardware and Building Supply has you covered. We deliver lumber, roofing, doors, windows, and more straight to your job site. And check out our full line of Milwaukee battery-powered tools, plus plumbing, electrical, and Valspar paints for every project. And now we're your local source for guns, ammo, and so much more. For over 100 years, Matheson Hardware has been built on a legacy of customer service you can trust. Go find them at 281 Scott Avenue in Matheson, Mississippi, or call them today at 662-263-4583.
Power up your convenience with the 4County mobile app. Managing your electric account has never been easier. With our free mobile app, you can view your bill, balance, and account details, report outages, track restoration progress, and make secure payments online. Stay informed by scheduling alerts and reminders for important account updates. Whether you're at home or on the go, the 4County app puts control in your hands. Download the app today and experience the power of convenience.
Hey, this is William Wells. When you drop your vehicle off with us, you can trust us with our ASC certified technician. We'll take care of everything you need. Brakes, struts, shocks, alignments, check engine light, tune-up, tire sensor, tires, everything. Stop by any of our 3 locations in Starkville, West Point, and Columbus, and let our team give you the championship service you deserve.
Hello, I'm Lee Burrell, proudly serving Oktibbeha County. The Citizens Bank has been serving our community for over 116 years, and I'm proud to be part of this vital community bank. With over 22 years of financial experience in commercial, mortgage, and consumer lending, I'm here to help with all your loan and deposit needs. Call me at 662-323-1420 or stop by my office located at 201 Highway 12 and say hello. I'm looking forward to meeting and talking with you soon. The Citizens Bank, www.thecitizensvilla.com, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
You're listening to Talkin Dawgs on Super Talk 100.9.
Welcome back to Talkin Dawgs with Robbie Faulk here on Super Talk 100.9 and SuperTalk.fm. I thank you guys for choosing to spend time with me here on this hump day and Wednesday. These Wednesdays are a lot more fun this year, aren't they, folks? With Mississippi State winning football games and you have something to look forward to on the weekend. We are now 4 weeks in. That might change in a couple of weeks, but for right now, dadgummit, you guys are having a blast. I'm having a blast. It's fun to talk about Mississippi State football again and get some of that conversation in week to week. I'm excited to bring that to you here on Talkin Dawgs. I'm excited to present our sponsor, Alpha Insurance, Jess Brantley, and his agency over in West Point. He has been with me since day one on the show, a proud supporter of Mississippi State athletics and the local high school athletics in our area as well. Jess grew up around here. He is a Mississippi boy through and through, and he loves this area. He is there to help you through your time of need, whether it be hitting a deer. Watch out for those deer. As this weather gets colder, deer season starts to heat up, the deer are running. And I've nailed quite a few in my time. Alpha Insurance has been there for me when I have had those concerns, and Jess will be there for you as well. And he's there for homeowners insurance, for life insurance, whatever you need. He and his team are going to be there for you. You can go find him at 36 South 4th Street in West Point, or you can call him at 662-494-4142. Go see Jess today and start saving right away. All right, 3-0 are your Mississippi State Bulldogs. The offense is ranked in the top 30 in the country in scoring. The defense is ranked in the top 30 in the country in scoring. It's a totally different vibe around this team, and I know those numbers are going to shift significantly probably in SEC play. It might not be significant. I don't know. But I do expect that to change a little bit for the Bulldogs whenever they start to play tougher competition, and that's to be expected. But to this point, State has done exactly what is needed to do. They've gone out and I thought, dominated Southern Miss. Could have beat them worse than they did, but they fought through some early issues in the first half, and they came out in the second half, and they were clearly the better team. And they won that ball game and they covered. In week 2, that was the tipping point for Mississippi State. How far has this football team come? We were going to find out in week 2 when they took on an Arizona State team that last year made the playoff. They were returning almost every single player on the defensive side of the ball. They were returning their starting quarterback, who was gaining some buzz nationally, in Sam Leavitt. The big piece they were missing, obviously, is playing for the New York Giants now, and Cam Scatterbo, and he went absolutely wild over Mississippi State's defense last season. And he was obviously missing in that ball game, although they continued to run the football relatively well against State. But State coming out and winning that ball game the way that it did, and with its backs against the wall in the last minute and a half, Blake Shapen leading the team down the field in a 2-minute drill and hitting that big play to Brennan Thompson. That really spoke volumes to me. I don't care what Arizona State does the rest of the way. They might end up winning 6 games, 5 games, I don't know. I doubt it. I think it's going to be a decent team. I don't care what they do. The fact that Mississippi State bowed their neck on that third down play and got a stop on the goal line, and then went out and won the ball game on a huge pass play to Brennan Thompson that just doesn't happen very often at Mississippi State, that showed me everything I needed to know about where this program is trending under Jeff Lebby and company. The fact that they went out and won the ball game in that fashion, that was absolutely huge. So you're sitting here now at 2-0, and that was the big one to get. That was the one all offseason over on Thunder and Lightning, where you can find that anywhere you get podcasts right now, 5 days a week, myself and Brian Haydad. All offseason, we talked about the first part of the schedule and how important it was for Mississippi State to just find a way to get to 4-0. Could you find a way to get there? Because when you get to that point, you're setting yourself up. The percentages play out to there is a much higher percentage of finding a way to get to a bowl game at 6-6 when you start 4-0 than it would be if you're 3-1. And on top of that, you've beaten a team that was a playoff team last year. They came in here, they were a top 10 team in the coaches poll. The perception changes around this program. And I think people have talked much differently about Mississippi State since week 2 than they did prior to that game. I think people, in seeing the atmosphere and seeing the content that came out from the great team at Mississippi State, what a job by Jeff Lebby pulling the people that he did over into the football offices. Brady Kiker, Lance Pardue, John Sweeney, those guys were rock stars for Mississippi State athletics as content creators. Brady was at baseball, was putting out some incredible content for the baseball program, and they have completely changed the outlook of how Mississippi State is perceived on social media and things like that. They're putting out some really cool things, and this program looks completely different in large part thanks to that. I think that plays a factor. People might think that's silly, but I think that plays a factor. It's a snapshot into your university, into your program. Those guys are doing an incredible job. And when they're releasing the content from that night, the scenes from Davis Wade Stadium, what you saw on that Brennan Thompson touchdown, one of the best videos I've ever seen produced by Mississippi State was that extended cut highlight from that game where Blake Shapen, you can hear him say, "I'm going to go win this game." And the shots from the sideline, the shots from the field, it was incredible. And now all of a sudden, if you just don't screw up in the following 2 weeks, there's a lot of buzz around Mississippi State. And I don't know where they finish this year. I would say if they get to 4-0, I think that 6-6 is entirely possible. I think that this team can get to a bowl game. My prediction changes from 5-7 to 6-6. I think they find a way to get 2 SEC wins. So, you can't screw up in the following 2 weeks. First game's checked off, 63-0 over Alcorn. And I wondered how Mississippi State would react to that emotional win over Arizona State. I said last week I thought this Alcorn game was absolutely perfect for Mississippi State. You do not want to play a team that's capable of beating you after you get a win like Arizona State. And I mean no offense to Alcorn, but Alcorn is not within 5 touchdowns of Mississippi State from a talent perspective. They're just not. And for Mississippi State, they needed to come out and attack this game like a business opportunity, and they did. I loved how they came out and attacked this game. First play of the game, Blake Shapen takes a shot to Brennan Thompson. Jeff Lebby was not happy because he got hit on that play. He wanted him to be clean. If he's clean on that play, it's a touchdown. So he just overthrows him. Very next play, it was essentially the same play, and they went to Jordan Mosley this time, and he takes off for a 75-yard touchdown. State scores from 4 straight possessions in the first quarter, 28-0. They score 14 more in the second. It's 42-0 at the half, and that allows you exactly what you needed to do to get your backups into the ball game. And Mississippi State scored 21 points in the second half with the backups. What I thought was cool was they didn't let up. When they put in their 3rd and 4th string guys on defense, the defense was still strong. They weren't allowing Alcorn to move the football. So State, I thought the way they attacked this game and the way that this game played out was exactly how they needed it to be. 23 first downs to 9, 282 rushing yards to 68. State averaged 8 yards a rush, 232 passing to 93. The total yards were 514 to 161. That's what it looks like whenever you're an SEC team versus a SWAC team. This is what it's supposed to look like. The only thing I would say is the 10 penalties that Mississippi State had is just too much. But this was a breakout game for Fluff Bothwell. He rushed for nearly 100 yards, 12 carries, 93 yards, almost 8 yards a rush. You had 6 running backs get in the ball game and get carries. Seth Davis gets in there and gets a big touchdown. That was awesome to see. Blake Shapen was outstanding, 10 of 14 with 2 touchdowns, 173 yards. Did throw an interception. He got hit on the play. I thought Camario Taylor was special in a couple of plays. And Luke Kromenhawk had some good plays as well. When we get back from the break, I want to devote that time to talk about Mississippi State's quarterback situation, presently and in the future. There's a lot of excitement starting to build around these guys. I want to discuss that a little bit. I want to hear from Blake Shapen first. We asked him a few questions about that yesterday, about Kromenhawk and about Camario Taylor. So we'll hear from Blake Shapen when we get back from the break, and we're going to discuss those 2 quarterbacks and dip into the future a little bit. There's a lot that has to happen this year, but I want to talk about the future just a little bit. So when we get back, we'll do that. This is Talkin Dawgs with Robbie Faulk here on SuperTalk 100.9.
When you're a Yellow Jacket, school spirit isn't just for game day, it's every day. That's why the Citizens Bank created the School Stash debit card for Starkville-Oktibbeha schools. With every transaction, select credit instead of debit, and we'll donate 5 cents to the district. It's an easy way to show your pride and support local schools with every purchase. Stop by 201 Highway 12 and get your School Stash debit card today. The Citizens Bank, in your corner every day. Member FDIC.
A lot of land comes with a lot of work. The new Kubota MX Series has a lot to offer, including the versatility to mow, move hay bales, grade roads, and clear brush and snow. An optional spacious cab to keep you comfortable in any conditions. A front-end loader with excellent loader lift capacity and transmission options. Visit your local Kubota dealer today.
Visit H&R AgriPower, your local Kubota dealer at 841 South Frontage Road in Columbus. H&R AgriPower has the power to get you more.
Fork County Electric Power Association has spent more than 85 years working to improve the quality of life of all we touch. And that's why we created the Fork County Foundation. Thanks to the generosity of Fork County member owners, the foundation has awarded more than $2.5 million to organizations that support the communities we serve. If you have a 501c3 organization that helps improve the lives of 4 County members, visit 4county.org and see if the 4 County Foundation can help you.
Looking for quality and convenience? Matheson Hardware and Building Supply has you covered. We deliver lumber, roofing, doors, windows, and more straight to your job site. And check out our full line of Milwaukee battery-powered tools, plus plumbing, electrical, and Valspar paints for every project. And now we're your local source for guns, ammo, and so much more. For over 100 years, Matheson Hardware has been built on a legacy of customer service you can trust. Go find them at 281 Scott Avenue in Matheson, Mississippi, or call them today at 662-263-4583.
Find a friend in the banking business at Bank Oklahoma and take that friend with you using Bank Oklahoma mobile banking. Manage your accounts, make deposits, payments, and transfers anywhere and anytime. Bank Oklahoma offers small town feel with big city convenience and the personalized attention you deserve. I'm Joy Faulkner at Bank Oklahoma. Better together, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Talkin Dawgs on SuperTalk 100.9.
Welcome back to Talkin Dawgs with Robbie Faulk here in SuperTalk 100.9, SuperTalk.fm, and the SuperTalk app. Once again, you can listen to us every Wednesday if you're in the Golden Triangle area from 9 to 10 a.m. and a replay at 1 p.m. on SuperTalk 100.9. Or if you're not in the area or you don't have time, we have you covered. The SuperTalk app has a link to this where you can listen to this on demand. Anywhere you get your podcasts, go download Talkin Dawgs with Robbie Faulk. You can also go download Thunder and Lightning, but I'm sure most of you are already listening to that. But you can listen to this every day. Go subscribe to that podcast feed. Give me a nice review if you don't mind. I would love for you guys to check that out and appreciate you for your support for sure. I'm so excited to have a new sponsor that we brought in last week, Matheson Hardware over in Matheson, right down the street from where I live in Choctaw County. This is a place that's so near and dear to my heart. I'm living in the area in Sherwood community in Choctaw County where my grandfather grew up, and he and his family had a store in this area back in the early 1900s. They moved to Matheson, I believe in the 1940s, and bought this store, and it was N.S. Ellis & Son hardware store. And my mother and her family grew up in there. My dad, when he ended up marrying my mom, he ended up working with my grandfather in that store. And now it is under new ownership. It has been completely gutted out, renovated. It is absolutely beautiful. If you're ever in the Matheson area, you've got to go check this out. Matheson Hardware over on Scott Avenue in Matheson is downtown Matheson, the beautiful city of Matheson, right across from the post office. And they've done an unbelievable job with that store there. You can go over there and get all your Valspar paint. They deliver wood and materials anywhere you need it. They have things for plumbing and electrical, everything you need when it comes to building or anything that you got going on around the house. I know I stop in there all the time and get things just to fix a table or something that I've screwed up in the house. My wife will send me over to Matheson Hardware to go get something. So you guys go check it out today. It's right down the highway from Starkville, so if you're passing through, go check it out. Go do business with these guys. It's a great local business, and they got everything you need right there. The Matheson Hardware and Building Supply. You can call them at 662-263-4583 or go visit them today over on Scott Avenue in Matheson. Appreciate you guys over at Matheson Hardware for sponsoring us here on Talkin Dawgs. All right, so I mentioned to you right before we went to break about this young quarterback duo with Luke Krummenhawk, Kamario Taylor. These guys are really special from a athletic standpoint. And we talked to Blake Shapen on Monday a little bit about that and got his thoughts about his two quarterbacks. Let's hear from Shapen here real quick and hear what he thought about how they played on Saturday and also just his thoughts specifically on them at this point.
You spoke in the summer about how close you got with Camario and Luke, and seeing that those guys go out there and make some plays on Saturday. What was that like for you as somebody who kind of has helped them along since they got here?
I mean, it's awesome to see whenever you put in a ton of work in the film room, at practice, things like that, for them to be able to go out and show everybody kind of, what they're made of and the things that they've been working on. It's cool to see them be able to go show that on Saturday. So it was fun supporting them from the sideline, watching them kind of do their thing.
Speaking of that, on the reverse side of things, I think Camario came up to you and said, "I believe in you," on that final drive going up against Arizona State. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
What did that mean to you for a young kid to come up to you and tell you that he had belief in you to go out there and make plays? And what's your relationship been like with him as a fifth-year senior and a first-year guy?
No, it's been awesome. Like I say every time whenever we talk about Camario or Luke or whoever it is, the relationship that we've been able to build when they first got here has been tremendous. And so, I think they know from the preparation, the work, and all the things that we do together. They kind of see it behind the scenes every single day. So I think that's where it came from. He knew that, I was ready for that moment, that I've, been in college for a long time, seen a lot of different things, and I think that he trusted in me to go out there and lead us to a win. So, I think for us it's just the relationship that we've been able to build and things like that. So, I appreciate that a lot from him.
On the trick play where Camario gets the touchdown pass there, what's it like calling that in the huddle, knowing, okay, you're going to give this kid an opportunity here?
Yeah, it's awesome. You look at him, you can put him in so many different situations. I think, the first play, we lined him up at receiver. He comes and bounces behind me. I fake a throw to him and toss it to Ant. Like, he's just a decoy for the defense on that. And when you put in, like, an athletic guy like that, the defense it's very noticeable that he's in. So eyes are on him. And then the next play, being able to kind of fake the pitch and then him take it around the edge and then make a huge throw to Brennan was fun to see. I mean, you can put him in the game and make our offense very dynamic just because he's in the game. So it was fun seeing him be able to do that, especially for his first touchdown too.
All right, that was Blake Shapen talking about Luke Cromenhawk and Camario Taylor, and both of those guys impressed, I thought, at times on Saturday. Cromenhawk got his first ever Mississippi State touchdown, got in from 3 yards away through a 13-yard pass as well. He got some extended time in the game. We saw Camario Taylor early in the first quarter. He came in, lined up at wide receiver. They use him as a decoy, as Shapen said in that interview. They'll use him sometimes as a decoy, but also they'll use him a little bit as well just to make a play. We saw that at Southern Miss. And in this game, lines up at receiver, goes in motion, gets a toss from Blake Shapen, takes a hit on the run, and delivers an absolute dot to Brennan Thompson for the 42-yard touchdown pass, and it was a beauty. And I think fans have seen early just what Camario Taylor's capable of. And he's not just a pocket passer. 3 carries for 40 yards. That's a part of his game that's really developed over the last few years. Saw him last year as a senior against Starkville High, and I thought really looked like a different kind of quarterback, the way he was moving around the pocket. I mean, there was a few times I've said before I was joking about him looking a little bit like Cam Newton out there. It's starting to get closer and closer to reality. This guy is immensely talented. Moving up the charts as one of the most talented quarterbacks Mississippi State's ever had. And I try not to use a lot of hyperbole whenever I talk about sports, because I think that's something that's kind of been running rampant in sports talk. And I don't want to get on board with that, where you start talking about players and games like they're the greatest of all time and things like that. But I just see the skill set of Camario Taylor, and I've watched a lot of football over the years, and I've been covering Mississippi State now for over 10 years. And there's just not a lot of guys that have come through here that are as talented as he is. And you add in the fact that he's so grounded at his age. I asked Blake in that interview about him coming over to him before that final drive against Arizona State and saying, "I believe in you." He came off the bench, walked over to the quarterback, and looked him in the eyes and said, "I believe in you. You're about to go win this football game." That, to me, says everything you need to know about who Camario Taylor is. And I'm not dismissing Luke Cromenhawk. I think this is going to be an unbelievable battle when these two battle it out next spring. But the future of this program, to me, looks like it's in great hands no matter what happens here. And Camario Taylor is a guy that's going to be very, very difficult to keep out of that top spot. I think before it's all said and done, this is a guy that's going to have an incredible career at Mississippi State. He wants to be here. He loves Mississippi State. I think that this guy's going to be really special. And we saw a few players come out there and make some plays on Saturday, some young guys that I think it bodes well for the future. Jeff Lebby has told people, I think Chris Lowe had in a story a couple weeks ago, that Mississippi State doesn't plan on taking a whole lot of offensive players in the transfer portal this year because they really like their young guys. They got a lot of offensive linemen returning. They have a lot of wide receivers coming up that are going to be here next year. I think Brennan Thompson and Jordan Mosley are the only two that are slated to leave. And you'll have some guys, I'm sure, that transfer. But they're really excited about these young guys. The running backs, they're going to lose Davon Booth, but they have a whole stock of running backs. Johnny Daniels is gone too, but Fluff Bothwell's back. Seth Davis, they're getting closer to 100%. Xavier Gayton flashed 4 carries for 50 yards and a touchdown on Saturday. Colin Wilson had 4 carries for 23 yards. I thought he looked good. The offensive talent and the future there on that offensive side of the ball is starting to come into shape, and you're starting to see this group become more and more what Jeff Lebby believes that it can be. And I'm really excited for the future. I'm excited to see Camario Taylor. I'm excited to see Luke Kromenhawk compete with him. A lot of things to be happy about if you're a Mississippi State fan moving forward, and they're moving in rapid pace. And Blake Shapen, I think, is a big part of this too. He's developing those players underneath him as well. He's been a great representative to this point. All right, so we will go to another commercial break. When we come back, plenty to talk about on the high school front. I was at West Point Noxubee this past week. I'll be at Starkville Louisville this week. So a lot to talk about in that regard. We'll be right back. This is Talkin Dawgs with Robbie Faulk on SuperTalk 100.9.
Bank Oklahoma is committed to the communities we serve. We offer the small town feel with big city convenience and give you the personalized attention you deserve. Come see me, Gene Childs, Community Bank President in Houston and Manatee. We have locations in Aberdeen, Bruce, Houston, Manatee, Okolona, and Tupelo. Bank Oklahoma, where we are better together. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Landowners, are you ready to turn your timber into real value? At Good Hope Land and Timber, we specialize in helping landowners like you make smart, sustainable decisions. Whether you're planting a final harvest, thinning a stand, development thinning, or managing your forest long-term, our experienced team is here to guide you every step of the way. We're trained in the Sustainable Forestry Initiative and follow best management practices to protect your land and maximize your return. Call me, Jake Moody, at 601-416-6266. Good Hope Land and Timber, locally trusted, landowner approved.
Hey, this is William Wells. When you drop your vehicle off with us, you can trust us with our ASC certified technician. We'll take care of everything you need. Brakes, struts, shocks, alignments, check engine light, tune-up, tire sensor, tires, everything. Stop by any of our 3 locations in Starkville, West Point, and Columbus, and let our team give you the championship service you deserve.
Cover more ground and get more savings on the fast, durable Kubota Sidekick. Gas-powered with a top speed of 40 miles per hour and outstanding acceleration and handling with cargo. All backed by a 2-year, 1,000-hour warranty. Visit your Kubota dealer and get the Kubota Sidekick for 0 down, 2.99% APR for up to 48 months and save up to $300. Now through September 30th. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Visit H&R AgriPower, your local Kubota dealer at 841 South Frontage Road in Columbus. H&R AgriPower has the power to get you more.
Hello, I'm Lee Burrell, proudly serving Oklahoma County. The Citizens Bank has been serving our community for over 116 years, and I'm proud to be part of this vital community bank. With over 22 years of financial experience in commercial, mortgage, and consumer lending, I'm here to help with all your loan and deposit needs. Call me at 662-323-1420 or stop by my office located at 201 Highway 12 and say hello. I'm looking forward to meeting and talking with you soon. The Citizens Bank, www.thecitizensvilla.com, member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Talkin Dawgs with Robbie Faulk on SuperTalk 100.9.
Welcome back to Talkin Dawgs with Robbie Faulk here on SuperTalk 100.9 and SuperTalk.fm. I appreciate you once again for being a part of this show each and every week. You can catch me 9 to 10 a.m. Every single Wednesday morning, and then at 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock on Wednesday as well, I will be on here with this show playing it over again. So thank you guys for tuning in. We've already had some great conversation to this point about Mississippi State and what they've done in the first 4 weeks or 3 weeks of the season. Now let's talk some high school sports. I love talking high school sports on this show and having a few minutes to discuss that. I saw Starkville in the first 2 weeks. Starkville, two very different games. Starkville beat Oak Grove 57-54 in week 1, and then were blown out 48-15 to West Point the next week. So this last week, I drove over to Macon and went to Noxubee County for another big showdown in this, what I call the Golden Triangle round robin. And I don't really know if that applies to what the Golden Triangle really is when you consider the teams in it, but I still call it that just because it's in the same area. So please don't actually me on that. I understand that not all these schools are actually in the Golden Triangle, but for the purpose of this conversation, we'll just do that. Noxubee, Louisville, West Point, Starkville. These 4 teams are 4 of the winningest programs in Mississippi high school history, and especially in the last 2 decades. Noxubee has kind of come on of late, probably in the last 15 years. It hasn't always been a powerhouse. They actually struggled a little bit until MC Miller came in, and MC Miller and Tyrone Shorter made that into really a consistent power in Class 3A and sometimes Class 4A. Louisville, Starkville, and West Point, they've kind of always been there since the 1980s and beyond. Starkville's one of the winningest programs in Mississippi history. West Point and Louisville are the 2 winningest programs when it comes to state championships in Mississippi history. And West Point has been the best 5A program for well over 2 decades to this point. So it's really fun when these teams play each other. Noxubee is the smaller school in there, and they take their lumps a lot against Starkville and West Point specifically. They have better battles against Louisville because it's closer in classification. But these guys never waver. It's really unbelievable. Even in the midst of the game, like they're never out of it. And that's exactly what happened on Friday night. West Point and Noxubee were just tit for tat. I mean, they were going back and forth. It wasn't until late in the fourth quarter that West Point was able to kind of take control, and even then, Noxubee had a chance to go at least tie the ball game. So it was really impressive to watch. This is a Noxubee team that just lost quite possibly the greatest quarterback, maybe the greatest offensive player they've ever had in Camario Taylor last year. It's crazy. Camario was so good, and I can't say he was the best player Noxubee has ever had because Jeffrey Simmons exists. But he's right up there with Jeffrey Simmons, and he'll have his opportunity to lay his mark as well. Camario steps out the door, and Noxubee still has that same fight that they're still in the game every single ball game. And they just find ways, man. It's not the biggest team week to week. I thought West Point was a much bigger team in the line of scrimmage. West Point was, because of that, they're a more physical team. But Noxubee did not give in. This was a game that went back and forth. It was a big fumble from Noxubee on their side of the field with the ball game tied in the final 4 minutes, and West Point was able to go take the lead. But Noxubee right there in it. But the cool thing about Noxubee and these other teams, they lose these games. It's not the end of the world. They absolutely hate to lose, don't get me wrong. But these games make these teams stronger. And by the time they get into district play, Noxubee will not see another team in the district. And that's saying something with Winona and Choctaw County in their district. They won't see a team in that district that is as big and physical and fast as Starkville, as Louisville, and as West Point. So that's what these games do. And the same thing for Louisville. You look at Louisville, who's kind of in a similar vein. They're in a 4A classification. And they've already played – they're playing Starkville this week, but they've already played West Point. They lost that game 9-7. Last week they played a team in Holmes County Central that I think is going to be contending with West Point for the North in 5A. And that game came out 53-45. Louisville was able to win that. Louisville's 2-1 to this point. For Starkville, they will see some teams that are as good or as competitive as those teams, but it still is a very good test for them to play these teams because they're so physical and also they know how to win. It's very difficult to beat teams like Noxubee, Louisville, and West Point because they've won so much. They know how to win a whole lot more than they know how to lose. And they don't like to handle losing. They don't like to lose at all. So it's good to play those teams because they are winners. They might not have the numbers or the talent of a Tupelo, but these teams have won a whole lot more than Tupelo has over the years. So it's good to play those games if you're Starkville. And this week we're going to see another one of those round-robin games. And West Point's off this week, and that's good. I talked to Brett Morgan after the game, and he spoke about how important it was for them to rest up a little bit, but at the same time kind of keep that intensity going. They had some guys that are banged up, and they've played in the last 3 weeks. Louisville, one of the most physical teams in the state, Starkville, and Noxubee. All three of those teams are incredibly tough. So they needed a little bit of a break because next week they're playing the best team in the state in Tupelo. And after that, West Point will not play a team that's anything close to some of these teams they've played so far. So, the West Point has been challenged early, and they've come out of it. I think they're 3-0 against the Golden Triangle round robin, as I call it. They're 3-0 at this point for the first time since 2017. They have not beaten Louisville, Starkville, and Noxubee all in the same season since 2017. I believe that's correct. So hats off to Brett Morgan. He is keeping that train rolling, and all those coaches there. Roger Burton, Casey Welch, my guy Charles Heron Pup, those guys have been there for a long time. They love West Point football. And they've experienced a lot of winning, and what they do there is so impressive. It's so impressive how that program is run, and Brett Morgan has just kept that train rolling. So I'm pulling for those guys for sure. This week I've got Starkville, Louisville. I'm absolutely pumped for that. I've called that game on the radio a few seasons in a row now. I'll be on the call with Marcus Kincaid. If you guys want to pull up 107.1, The Refuge in Louisville, I'll be calling that game for the Louisville station. I'm really excited to see how that plays out. Starkville got back on track with a really good performance this past week at Meridian. They get back to 2-1. The defense had a better performance. Defense has really struggled the first 2 weeks, and they're going to be facing a pill of an offense this week. Zayden Jernigan, a sophomore running back who I believe is the best running back in the country in his class. He rushed for over 200 yards and 4 touchdowns last week against Holmes County Central. Tristan Edwards has done a really good job at quarterback. He was 11 of 12 last week passing, so they've become a more multiple offense. Louisville's trying to get some things going defensively. They've struggled a little bit, but this game I think is going to be another barn burner. I'm excited to be on the call for that. Happy for our other teams in our area, the Starkville Daily News area. Starkville Academy has started off great, 3-0. They got their first district win of Reese Rankin this past week. That's a team that's going to be trouble to contend with. Choctaw County lost its first game since the first week last season, but Dylan Mitchell went out and challenged a 7A team this week and nearly came away on top against Hernando. They just fall short in that one. But that's a Choctaw team that's going to be really good. And then our two Webster County teams, East Webster and Eupora, are absolutely destroying their opponents, Biggersville and Eupora against Ethel, respectively. Both of those teams are off to a hot start. Eupora's 3-0. East Webster's 2-1. I cannot wait for that ball game coming later this year. So we're off to a great start in the Starkville Daily News area. I'm excited about what this season has in store for us, and I'm excited about this weekend. with Louisville and Starkville coming up. And then next week, West Point and Tupelo. Should be a fun one. We're already heating things up, folks. High school football in the area is already heating up. Can't wait to see how everything turns out. All right, we're going to take one more commercial break. When we come back, we'll close out this show, but don't touch that dial. Don't leave just yet. Stay along with me. This is Talkin Dawgs with Robbie Faulk here on Super Talk 100.9.
When you're a Yellow Jacket, school spirit isn't just for game day, it's every day. That's why the Citizens Bank created the School Stash debit card for Starkville Oktibbeha schools. With every transaction, select credit instead of debit and we'll donate 5 cents to the district. It's an easy way to show your pride and support local schools with every purchase. Stop by 201 Highway 12 and get your School Stash debit card today. The Citizens Bank, in your corner every day. Member FDIC.
A lot of land comes with a lot of work. The new Kubota MX Series has a lot to offer, including the versatility to mow, move hay bales, grade roads, and clear brush and snow. An optional spacious cab to keep you comfortable in any conditions. A front-end loader with excellent loader lift capacity and transmission options. Visit your local Kubota dealer today.
Visit H&R AgriPower, your local Kubota dealer at 841 South Frontage Road in Columbus. H&R AgriPower has the power to get you more.
Power up your convenience with the 4-County mobile app. Managing your electric account has never been easier. With our free mobile app, you can view your bill, balance, and account details, report outages, track restoration progress, and make secure payments online. Stay informed by scheduling alerts and reminders for important account updates. Whether you're at home or on the go, the 4-County app puts control in your hands. Download the app today and experience the power of convenience.
Hey, this is William Wells. When you drop your vehicle off with us, you can trust us with our ASC certified technician. We'll take care of everything you need. Brakes, struts, shocks, alignments, check engine light, tune-up, tire sensor, tires, everything. Stop by any of our 3 locations in Starkville, West Point, and Columbus and let our team give you the championship service you deserve.
Looking to get the most out of your land? Trust the experts at Good Hope Land and Timber, your full-service land and timber company with years of experience in forestry and land management. From land and timber purchasing, timber management, plantation thinning, and development harvesting, our team handles it all, safely, efficiently, and sustainably. Our experienced logging force is trained to the highest standards under the Sustainable Forestry Initiative and best management practices. Call me, Jake Moody, at 601-416-6266. Good Hope Land and Timber, locally trusted, landowner approved.
Find a friend in the banking business at Bank Oklahoma. A friend who's there when you open your first account, when you buy that first car, and when you find the home you've been working for. At Bank Oklahoma, you'll find local people with local answers, ready to serve you with the customer care you deserve. Hi, I'm Tim Alford, Community Bank President, Bank Oklahoma in Aberdeen. Come see me or call me at 662-369-2772. Bank Oklahoma, your friend in the banking business, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Talkin Dawgs with Robbie Faulk on Super Talk 100.9.
Welcome back to Talkin Dawgs with Robbie Faulk. We're ready to close this thing out. This show has been another good one, folks. I appreciate you guys for being along for the ride once again. This has been such a great experience for me here the first month or so of this show. I think we're 1 month in exactly, and I cannot be more ecstatic to be here with you. Thankful for the Super Talk family for inviting me into this and let me be a part of it. I've done a lot of Super Talk work over the last 4 years or so. Started with Thunder and Lightning with Brian Haydad. I've been on Sports Talk Mississippi several times with the guys over there. So I've been kind of lightly involved with the Super Talk network, but now fully ingrained in it with the show, and I'm very thankful that they brought me on after the retirement of one of my heroes, Jim Ellis, to be able to be doing the show in his time slot that he did for so long. Just means the world to me. So I appreciate you guys for your support and for sharing the news on this. I've had a lot of people comment on this and tell me that they enjoy the show, and that means so much to me that you guys are weekly listeners to this and that you actually want to hear what this guy has to say. So thank you so much. Really important week for Mississippi State coming up. You look at it, and on the surface, it's not a very impressive game. You're hosting Northern Illinois, who to this point has been okay. They're 1-1. They got a 19-17 win over Holy Cross, and then lost last week to Maryland 20-9. And so it doesn't look like a super impressive game, but this is a team that just last year beat Notre Dame at Notre Dame. Notre Dame ended up playing for a national championship. Mississippi State cannot afford to look at this game as a throwaway. It's not. Northern Illinois' defense is very good. They lost a lot of pieces from last year's team and haven't been able to really do a whole lot offensively to this point. But this is a team and this is a program that believes that they can come to Starkville and they can win this game. And there's some players on this team at Mississippi State that were part of that win at Notre Dame last year. And State had picked up 3 transfers from Northern Illinois. Those guys right now are in the locker room are saying, hey, guys, those guys believe they can come in here and win this game. We have to handle this game seriously. So at 3:15 on Saturday, I expect Mississippi State to play this game the same way they did against Alcorn State. They're going to come out and they're going to treat Northern Illinois like any other game, I think. I thought last week told us a story about Mississippi State that they are not going to just simply go through the motions. It's a pretty business-like football team. You have a huge game next week against Tennessee. The atmosphere is going to be incredible inside Davis-Wade Stadium. Same time as this one, 3:15 on SEC Network. But you can't look ahead to that yet. You've got to take care of business here, get to 4-0, and then move on to next week. If you get to 4-0, you're doing some things that haven't been done a whole lot in Mississippi State history. This hasn't been done since 2014, 4-0. So this is a huge game for Mississippi State, and you're wanting to get to a bowl game. You cannot afford to lose this game with the schedule you have ahead. Tennessee next week, at A&M, at Florida, Texas at home, at Arkansas, Georgia at home, at Missouri, and then you close out the year against Ole Miss at home. 3 of the next 5 games are on the road in the SEC. This will not be easy for the Bulldogs to try to get to that 6-win mark. The Bulldogs want to get to 6 wins. They want to get back into a bowl game. To do so, I think they have to win this weekend. They have to beat Northern Illinois and go from there. We'll see if they're able to do that. So far, so good. We've been on this show now for a month. Every week we've previewed every ball game coming up for Mississippi State, and we've talked about the things that have to happen for the Bulldogs to win those games, and they've been able to take all 3 of those first games. In this game, State has to take care of itself. Limit the penalties, come out, command the line of scrimmage, and go win a game, go 4-0, and get ready for a huge game next week against Tennessee. I'm excited for it. I'm excited for high school football on Friday, for SEC football coming up this weekend, and I hope you guys have a great one as well. So appreciate you guys. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week here on Talkin Dawgs with Robbie Faulk, SuperTalk 100.9, SuperTalk.fm. I'll catch you down the road.
You've been listening to Talkin Dawgs with Robbie Faulk.
Mississippi State with a victory here.
Listen each Wednesday at 9 a.m. on SuperTalk 100.9.
Don't you know I'm gonna make it with my friends? I promised myself I'd get by. Said I'm gonna try it with them too.
A SuperTalk Mississippi media production.